Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance. So sit back, relax and enjoy some satisfying stories. Rebill my account. I don't care about the cost. So I work as a long-term care LTC biller. I do pharmacy billing for nursing homes and assisted living facilities. So any meds they get, I bill. My company is contracted with LTC facilities. We provide medications to people in long-term care. On to the story. I've been working in long-term care for 16 years. The company I work for does something that is absolutely unheard of in pharmacy billing. They care about their patients. So if your insurance drops a copay of $20, but the at-cost price is only $5, we charge you the $5. We give you the lower price. This is really rare in my field. Most pharmacies are out to screw everyone. My company actually gives you the better deal. Here comes Karen, an inbound call. Hi, I'd like to talk about my mum's bill. She's at this nursing home. Okay, what's your customer number? I pull up her customer number. You didn't run this through my mum's insurance. Let me check this out. There's a pause. Yes, we saw that your copay was actually higher than the at-cost rate, so we dropped the charge down, so it's cheaper for you. I pay for insurance, and I expect insurance prices. Of course, but when we can charge you the lesser price, we do that. We try to... I don't care about your prices. I want it run through the insurance for taxes purposes. Regardless of that, we can send you an itemized tax paper to show what you paid. We just are trying to give you the lower... I want this run through the insurance. This is ridiculous. You aren't billing my insurance. We did, but our at-cost gives you a lower price, so we charged you the lower price. I am done with this. Bill the insurance. Your bill is $75. If I bill your insurance, there are some tier 3 and 4 meds, highest copays talking $75 plus. They will raise your bill. It will not, and I expect you to rebill my account to the insurance and mail me a new statement. Yes ma'am. The call ends. I rebill the account. Her bill goes from $75 to $396. She gets her new bill a week later, calls back, loses her head of course. My boss backed me and told her that since it's been over 30 days since the meds were dispensed, we can't reverse the claims. She's stuck with the bill. Bottom line, if someone tells you they are giving you the best deal, take it. To be fair, I've got to disagree with that last statement because I think a lot of people would try and mess you over and say, oh, this is the best deal, I'm telling you. And people are so used to it, like that woman was probably used to being messed over. So she was like, no, I want this, don't try and finesse me. So you've just got to be careful. Stop playing with the yellow jackets? Okay, but they tend to get a bit stingy when they get bored. I worked at a golf course for a while. One day, I was out weed eating and came across a yellow jacket nest. Fortunately, the first ones to come out just happened to hit my string, so I saw them before they could get to me. I stood there for a while with my string spinning over the open. Not a single one made it out crawling or flying. Then, the superintendent of the golf course came up to me and started yelling at me for staying there too long. Normally, I would shut off my weed eater when he got my attention, but I wasn't about to let them out. I pointed to the opening and the bisected yellow jackets flying around the place, and told him I couldn't move until they stopped coming out. He yelled back, "Get this area done in 15 minutes or you'll be coming in on Sunday to stir the compost pile." I just said, okay. Backed up as fast as possible, took a few stings and bites, but since at that point he was closer to the hole, he got the worst of it. Nearly hit 3 golf carts after he got back into his utility car and sped off. And when I finished up and got back to the shop, he called me into his office to yell at me. He wasn't going to fire me. He's the type who will give you the worst jobs until you quit so you can't claim unemployment. And he says he was going to knock me down to minimum wage. At that time, I was only 10 cents above minimum wage, so not much of a threat. I would be coming in every Sunday to stir the compost, and he'd figure out how to deal with the overtime issue later. I calmly reminded him that if the Sundays took me above the 40-hour mark, the only way he would be able to legally avoid paying me overtime would be to give me time off throughout the week, to keep me at or below 40 hours. Then I reminded him that not a single yellow jacket had made it out until he demanded that I move on. They only got out to attack after I followed orders that he had issued after he clearly saw that there were yellow jackets trying to leave the nest. Then I asked him if he was going to report the injuries I sustained as a result of his orders to security. All injuries had to be reported to security no matter how minor, but we usually just let mild cuts and stings that didn't cause an allergic reaction slide, or if it was my responsibility to do so. I wasn't actually worried about the stings. I had gotten worse from larger nests at my brother's house than I did at work with no ill effects. But when dealing with someone like this, you pretty much have to point out all of your missile silos, so to speak. He was never the type to admit he was wrong, and didn't change that day. He still acted like I was solely responsible for both of our stings, but he just sent me on to my next task, still earning 10 cents above minimum wage, and I still had Sundays off. I guess he came out on top in the end, but if he really didn't like him, he could have reported him to the thing. But I guess there was no proof, and it would probably just be like his word against yours, and yeah. Want to get the principal involved? Okay, I'll do it for you. This story started a couple of weeks ago. I am a high school student enrolled in driving classes. My driving teacher, at the start, made the impression of a stern but nice guy. He was talkative to the other people, and at the start I actually quite liked him. It all started when I was driving about 2 weeks ago. I thought I was doing fine, but he started going on about how I seemed angry, how obviously aggressive I was, and that I was taking my anger out at the other drivers. His reasoning? My facial expressions and the way I was holding the steering wheel. His claims had no actual reasoning behind them. Not once did I make a mistake which could have warranted this. So I tried to explain to him that I am a student driver, and that I am here to learn, and that I had no other intentions in mind. This angered him to the point where he was screaming at me, and I was in tears. He made me pull into a 7-Eleven because I was stressing him out too much. When he got back, he started interrogating me on my mental health, claiming it was clear that I have issues, and that unless I deal with them, I shouldn't be driving. It's worth noting that I don't suffer from any mental health issues. This was completely random. I dealt with this until we got back to the school. I considered reporting him for what had happened, but I figured maybe he was just having a bad day, and since I and everyone else in the car liked him, I just decided to put it aside. That was until this week, when the apotheosis of BS took place. Seriously, the magnum opus. I get in the car for this week's lesson, and start driving. Everything is going normal up until we hit some traffic. I'm in the left lane of a pretty busy road. The car in front of me is turning, so I'm waiting behind it. All of a sudden, he grabs my wheel and yanks it to the right, saying that we are changing lanes. I don't have time to react, so my hands tense up on the steering wheel reflexively. It was an incredibly stupid move on his part, as there was a massive truck going full speed ahead in the lane he was trying to turn into. Nevertheless, the car somehow manages to get into the right lane without hitting the truck. All this happened in about a second, and I was just glad to have made it out unscathed. Now, after about a minute has passed, he starts yelling, loud, "Do you want to stop driving?" No, why? Because I know what you're trying to do. You were trying to hit that truck. Now, I'm going to ask you again, are you okay? At this point, I was in shock, and could barely muster up anything to say. So I just said, "I wasn't trying to hit anything, I'm here to learn." "Then why did you jerk the steering wheel when I was guiding your turn? If you were trying to learn, you would have let me make the turn. You are clearly trying to harm other people." "No, I'm not." "It's not a matter of if you are or not. I know what you're trying to do. Ever since that other time, I've known you're mentally unhinged. Now, I want you to tell me why you are trying to do this. What's wrong with you?" "I wasn't trying to do anything." "Yes, you were. Stop lying. There is way too much evidence against you. Now, tell me this. Do you want me to get the principal involved?" "No." "Then tell me, what the heck is wrong with you?" "There is nothing wrong with me. Please calm down. I'm driving." "If you don't tell me why you're trying to hurt other drivers in the car, as well as everyone in this car, the principal will find out about this and you will be arrested." At this point, the exchange went back and forth, with him shouting at me, "Do you want the principal to find out about this?" And me responding with, "No." Eventually, he just said, "The principal will hear about you." And I just said, "Fine." After things slowly calmed down, there was a bit of silence in the car, really awkward. Occasionally, he went about saying, "I can't believe you would do this," but I just stayed silent. We got close to the school, and he then proceeded to give me a speech about my own mental health, saying that it doesn't matter how hard my life is, I have no excuse for trying to hurt everyone in the car, and harm those around me. Yes, he was 100% serious when he said this. He was convinced I was literally trying to do this. He went on about me having anger problems and serious mental health issues, and told me that since I have those issues, I have no business to be driving with him or others. He offered to talk to me about my issues again, and I just told him he's wrong. Immediately after I left, I went ahead and did exactly as he said. I called up the principal, and made sure to tell him everything the teacher wanted to tell him. I made sure to say that I have no business driving with him, just as he said. There was a big thing the next day. They called down everyone who was in the car with me, and had them each give their stories. In the end, he got fired for exactly what he wanted. I kind of feel bad for what happened. He was nice to other students, and everyone seemed to like him actually. But that's what happens, I suppose. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can mess up when they're learning to do something, so the best thing is probably not to shout at them, especially when they're driving, you know? Told to dress better for a job that requires getting dirty. Okay, here's a bit of a background. I've worked in construction and service for 15 years. I recently gave up that career for a job in special effects for TV and movies. Last year, I started a production with people I've worked with in the past. I'm a known quantity, and my smart butt attitude usually precedes me. This production, which isn't out yet so the details will be sparse, is mostly set on a train. This set has to wag, shake and wiggle like a real train would. So we built a heavy teeter-totter on wheels. All heavy gauge steel, casters and bearings. Now these gimbals, common name for a motion platform, have a tendency to make noise, which as you would imagine would affect production. So one of my jobs was to crawl under the set on a concrete floor and grease joints, tighten the bolts, etc. Safety checks were daily. These usually left me somewhat dusty and dirty throughout the day. Typically, I'd be wearing Carhartt pants and shirt, both black of course, gotta stay hidden in the dark as much as possible. Most film departments that have to do something physical quite often wear black on black, so anything else is abnormal. This is where we lead into my malicious compliance. One day, I got a small hole in my shirt, just a little smaller than a dime, right on the front. So the first assistant, friend of mine that I've worked with before, says I really need to dress better as there should be an image we should attain. I just look at him unbelievingly for a second, and he re-insists. So I agree. I usually agree to things immediately to keep drama down in the workplace. I immediately know what I'm going to do for the rest of the week. This was on a Tuesday. The next day, I show up in my best dress clothes, shirt, tie, dress pants, and dress shoes, completely 100% wholly overdressed. Nobody dresses for a wedding in any film department, unless it's a theme day like a tropical shirt Friday. Dressed like this, I cannot do my job, so I just direct coworkers on how to do it. I spent the next 3 days dressing like that until the special effects coordinator mentioned that I maybe should dress down now, as I had made my point. I also got a lot of compliments from more than a few people, and every couple of Fridays people would come in with suits for formal Fridays. It was nice not getting my hands dirty, but spending close to 50 hours with a tie and dress shoes is something I'd like to avoid for a while. I'm just so confused as to why he thought it was a good idea to say dress up a bit in the first place.
Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.